Special Agent Ron Calder, FBI.
Yeah, shiny sticker from the internet. Doesn't mean a thing to me.
It's authentic. Call your supervisor and take 30 seconds.
My supervisor's asleep, and I'm not wasting his time. That's it!
Some stops begin quietly and end quietly, and some begin quietly and never really end at all. Marcus Hale learned that on a stretch of highway outside Red Mesa, the kind of road deputies like because it feels empty and forgiving after midnight. He had spent most of his adult life being mistaken for someone else, judged by posture, tone, skin, and silence. He had learned to breathe through it, to keep his hands visible, to let disrespect slide because outcomes mattered more than pride. That night, he sat behind the wheel of an unmarked SUV, engine steady, eyes forward, transporting a cooperating detainee with 2 cameras running and a plan that depended on everything staying procedural. When the lights came on behind him, he did not panic. He did not rush. He pulled over cleanly, reminded himself that preparation was protection, and waited. The deputy who stepped out did not see a lawful transport. He saw a challenge. And when authority meets certainty without patience, the smallest roadside decision can grow teeth. The deputy approached fast, boots loud on gravel, posture wide like he was already bracing for resistance. His name was Deputy Cole Barrett, mid-30s, a decade on the force, known for hard stops and a refusal to disengage once he decided someone was lying. He stopped inches from the driver door and spoke before anyone could explain. "All right, enough. Drop the act, both of you." Marcus kept his hands on the wheel, fingers spread, voice level. "Deputy, we are in the middle of a lawful transport. We are requesting a supervisor." Barrett laughed once, sharp and dismissive, eyes sliding to the back seat where a man sat restrained, quiet, compliant. "That shiny sticker means nothing to me," he said, tapping the window as if the decision was already made. Marcus could feel the temperature shift. He had felt it before, the moment when a stop stopped being investigative and started being personal. In the passenger seat, Daniel Ross shifted just enough to be noticed. Calm posture, eyes tracking Barrett's hands. Ross was there for moments like this, the one trained to speak when authority conflicts surfaced. "Deputy," he said evenly, displaying credentials carefully without reaching too far, flashing them just long enough to be clear. Barrett barely glanced. "Fake," he said. "I have seen these before." The dismissal was instant, reflexive, like a muscle memory built on never being wrong. Marcus and Ross exchanged a look that lasted less than a second. Not panic, calculation. Barrett, stepping back half a pace, scanned the SUV, then leaned in again, voice louder now. "Turn the engine off. Everyone out." Marcus exhaled once. "Deputy, please slow this down. Call your supervisor." The request seemed to trigger something. Barrett's jaw tightened. "Refusing orders is obstruction," he snapped. He told Ross to stop coaching the driver, told Marcus that if the door did not open in 5 seconds, he would open it himself. Passing vehicles slowed. A horn sounded. Barrett did not notice. His focus narrowed to control. The man in the back seat remained still, eyes forward, breathing steady. Barrett pointed at him. "What did he do?" Marcus answered plainly. "Lawful custody, cooperating, authorized." That simplicity irritated him. "That is not how this works out here," Barrett said. "You do not roll through my county with a tied-up guy and expect me to walk away." He did not run the federal registration dispatch had already flagged. He did not document a reason. He issued commands that contradicted each other, telling Marcus to stay put while demanding he step out. Barrett's hand drifted closer to his holster. Ross noticed and adjusted his posture, slower now, deliberate. "Deputy," Ross said, "do not open that door. Doing so would interfere with a federal transport." Barrett smirked. "Watch me." He reached for the rear door handle and paused, like he was daring someone to stop him. That was when the radio crackled. Dispatch asked him to confirm whether he was aware the vehicle was federally registered. Barrett froze for a fraction of a second. He did not release the handle. He looked toward his cruiser, then back to the SUV without acknowledging the radio. "I do not care what dispatch thinks," he said. "You are not going anywhere." He keyed his radio again, eyes locked on Marcus. "Send me another unit, possible impersonation, non-compliant subjects." The words landed heavy. Marcus did not respond. He kept his hands where they were. Ross watched Barrett's positioning, the way he angled his body to block the mirror, to shrink options. "Step out of the vehicle," Barrett repeated. "Driver first." Marcus shook his head once. "Deputy, we are not refusing. We are asking you to follow procedure." That answer irritated him more than defiance. "You do not get to tell me how to do my job," he said. "You are delaying a lawful investigation." He gestured to the back seat. "He is coming out next." Traffic slowed further. A pickup crawled past. A woman in the passenger seat raised her phone. Barrett noticed and squared his shoulders, voice growing louder as if performing authority instead of exercising it. "Turn the engine off." Marcus complied. The engine cut. The silence felt heavier than the noise before. Barrett paced, then leaned in again, ordering Ross to put his hands on the dashboard. Ross did it without comment. "Do not move," Barrett added unnecessarily. Marcus watched Barrett's reflection in the glass, tracking movement without turning his head. "You are escalating without cause," he said carefully. "Call your supervisor." Barrett laughed, humorless. "You keep saying that like it means something." A siren grew faint in the distance. Barrett straightened, confidence returning with the sound. He repeated his version to dispatch, words like uncooperative and refusal slipping in. Ross glanced toward the approaching lights, then back to Barrett. "Deputy, this does not need to go further." "Stay quiet," Barrett snapped. "You have said enough." The backup unit arrived and stayed near its vehicle, watching. Barrett called back that he had it handled. The second deputy hesitated, hands on his belt, eyes moving between the SUV and the restrained man. Something in his posture suggested caution. Barrett ignored it. "You think sitting there calmly makes this better. It doesn't." Marcus met his eyes briefly. "You are making a mistake." For a moment, Barrett hesitated. It was subtle, a fraction of a second where he noticed the other deputy watching, the phones recording, the radio still active. Then he doubled down. "Step out, now." Ross shifted his gaze to the second deputy, then back to Barrett. "Deputy, you might want to slow this down for your own sake." That line landed differently. "Is that a threat?" Barrett asked. "No, advice." Barrett turned away abruptly and keyed his radio again. Voice clipped, challenging dispatch to contradict him. There was a pause longer than before. When the radio came back, the tone was different, slower, careful. "Unit, confirm the names again?" Barrett cleared his throat and rattled them off, adding the detainee last, almost as an afterthought. The pause that followed stretched. "Stand by," dispatch said. Barrett shifted his weight, stepped back half a pace from the driver door. Not enough to disengage, but enough to create space where there had been none. Marcus noticed immediately. He did not move. He waited. The radio crackled again. "Be advised," dispatch said. "Marcus Hale and Daniel Ross are confirmed federal agents. Vehicle is registered to a federal task force. You're instructed to disengage." The words hung in the air. Barrett's face tightened. For a moment it looked like he might argue. The second deputy spoke first. "Federal." Barrett finally keyed his radio. "Copy." He turned back to the SUV, and the shift was immediate. Shoulders lowered, voice dropped. "Why did you not say that sooner?" he asked. Marcus answered evenly. "We did." Barrett scanned the road, the bystanders, the phone still raised. He stepped back another pace. "You're free to go," he said. "No apology, no explanation." Marcus did not restart the engine right away. He looked at Barrett through the glass. "I want your supervisor." Barrett hesitated, then nodded. "They're on the way." When the supervisor arrived, the tone changed again. Sergeant Elena Mora stepped out already listening, radio pressed to her shoulder. She looked at Barrett, then the SUV, then the second deputy. "What happened?" Barrett spoke fast. Mora raised a hand. "I will hear from everyone." Marcus stepped out slowly, hands visible, movements deliberate, identified himself again without resistance. Ross followed. Mora listened, eyes moving between them, then back to Barrett. "Did you verify with dispatch before escalating?" Barrett stalled. "I was in the process." Mora nodded once. "You are clear to leave," she said to Marcus. "We will handle this." The transport resumed minutes later, but the encounter did not end there. Within 2 days, Barrett was placed on administrative leave. BODYCAM and dashcam were pulled. Civilian recordings surfaced. The footage showed commands without cause, dismissal of credentials, escalation without verification. Internal Affairs opened a case. The county attorney requested the file. Then the Department of Justice made contact. Barrett was interviewed twice. His statements shifted, timelines blurred. What he said roadside did not match what cameras captured. Prior complaints were reopened and re-examined. Patterns once dismissed now looked consistent. Marcus and Ross submitted statements, factual and restrained. The video spread. Headlines focused on the pause before confirmation and the moment Barrett doubled down anyway. A civil lawsuit followed, quietly at first. unlawful detention, abuse of authority, civil rights violations. Barrett was named personally. The county distanced itself. Internal emails showed supervisors had flagged his behavior before. Months later, Barrett sat alone at a table with termination papers, his badge collected, certification suspended. The career he believed was protected by confidence ended without ceremony. The case moved slowly, as these things do. Depositions reconstructed the stop frame by frame. Barrett said he believed the credentials were fake. When asked what training supported that belief, he had none. He said he felt unsafe. The footage showed calm subjects, visible hands, repeated requests for procedure. The city requested mediation. By the end of one day, a settlement was reached in the millions, with acknowledgments of wrongdoing and mandated policy changes. Barrett was excluded from indemnification. Certification review followed. The board watched the same footage and voted unanimously. Decertified, no appeal, no lateral transfer, no quiet second chance. Marcus and Ross returned to work. The stop became a training reference, an example of how authority unravels when procedure is ignored. The stop